Hello everybody, Magic here, giving you another cast tonight before my analysis. Alright, so let's see, well, who do we have here? Let's remove the overlay, Okay, so we have ButteryLlama, who spawned as our blue Zerg player at the top left-hand position here. And then we have, who's his opponent? Shokan, who is spawned as our red Protoss guy at the bottom left. So it is vertical positions here on, what is this map called again? It's a good one. It used to be GSL. Yeah, you guys know. You guys probably remember better than I remember. But it looks like this probe's coming out. Gonna be plopping down a pylon right at the natural here. So it looks like Shokan is gonna be doing an expansion first. We'll see if he puts down that forge or if he just goes for that nexus first. It really depends on what Zerg does. ButteryLlama, I do know he likes to do pool and then hatchery, but this is a big map. I haven't seen him play in a while. He could definitely go for that hatchery first. We'll see. It looks like he is saving up for something. Nope, he's just waiting for that overlord. I guess he decided to go for a 10 overlord instead of a 9. I kind of just do that if I screw up by accident. I don't try to do the extractor trick, to be honest. The extractor trick, I feel like you just lose that like 7 or 8 minerals or whatever, and you just don't get them back ever. So, with that in mind, I don't know. You know, it doesn't set me back. I don't care. But looks like he is going to be going for that pool first, right on 14. We'll see if he cranks out another probe. We'll see if he gets the gas or not. Or drone, not a probe. You know, as he's Zerg, you don't see any probes from Zerg. But looks like, yeah, Shokan is definitely going to be forced to put down that forge first. As there is a pool first. Now, if he went for Nexus first, that forge would just be too late, and those Zerglings could definitely maybe get in there. Now, if you are a really good player, you might be able to do it. You know, if you time it just perfectly, you might be able to do it, since it is such a large map. But again, it's, you know, this is a pretty fast pool, so it looks like it's going to be good to get that forge first. But now you got to deal with that evolution chamber going down, and well, now you might be curious as to how this happened. Now, the way you do this is you plop down a hatchery, cancel it, and then build an evolution chamber right away. There'll be just enough creep to put down an evolution chamber after the hatchery. And then, you know, obviously it's slowly dying because it's not on creep any longer. And, well, that's going to block any nexus from going down. So we'll see if this probe is able to block the hatchery from ButteryLlama or not. Meanwhile, there are 4 Zerglings out, so he's not going to be able to do that. This is just a very, very good standard opening from Zerg here. You just go for that pool first. You know, you could get a gas if you want, and then just expand when you can. Now, the reason why you go for the pool first against Protoss is he's just gonna, you know, there's a high chance he's gonna block that hatchery from going down. So you need a couple of Zerglings out, get a couple of Zerglings out, kill off any possible probes or pylons, and then plop down that hatchery as you can afford it. So, you know, doing this a little bit of, I'm going to get an evolution chamber and block your expansion, you know, that's kind of a little bit of an extra thing. Where are they going? They should definitely be going for that probe. Okay, they kind of go past the probe. Definitely could have picked that off if he did it just right. You know, seeing how Shokan moved his probe. He could have moved it out of the way, though, too. So, anyways, he does have a Cybernex going up right now, so this is actually pretty safe, considering he has that technology coming online already. It's 5 minutes in. You know, it sounds really late, but with this kind of expansion play, it's actually at a pretty good time. So, you know, the expansion's a little bit late, but you also get your cyber up at a certain time. So actually, now that I'm looking at this, this might be a good play in the future. You know, just going for, without the forge, you go gateway cyber nexus instead of, forge nexus or gateway nexus forge or something like that. You know, there's all these different variations and things. Either way, I'm sure you guys will play around with it and all that good stuff. So ButteryLlama finished up his hatchery at his natural. Looks like he has 26 or 24 probes, or drones out, 26 probes for Shokan. And ButteryLlama does have both his gas, which is actually kind of odd to me. What is he going to spend that gas on? Looks like probably Zergling speed right away. And possibly going for a fast layer. I don't know, this seems kind of unusual here. He's just about to get that first 100. We'll see what he spends it on. Probably the speed. Speed? No speed. Okay, he's not going to get anything with it. Alright, so now he's getting up that spine crawler. Alright, so yeah, he is going to be getting that speed. It's just a little bit late. Kind of a blunder for someone at his level since he is a very good player. And, oh, okay, he's getting a Baneling Nest as well. So actually, he might be doing some kind of Baneling bust now. This is not something I really recommend against a Forge Fast Expand like this. The reason being, your opponent's probably going to have some sentries out, you know? And really, he really only has to block this right here because he has 3 big buildings. And it's going to take a ton of Banelings to actually bust these down. So, I mean, yeah, sure, once they're down, you know, Zerg just wins. But until they're down, it's going to be a hard thing to do. So we'll see if he has enough guys or not. Looks like he droned up pretty good. So, I mean, you know, maybe when I do it, I just do it too early and just drone up too hard and then get too many Banelings or something like that. I don't know. But, I don't know. We'll see if this works or not. Looks like he does have some Zerglings coming out now. The speed should be finishing up here in just a moment. He is also getting a +1 and some Banelings. Actually, the Banelings looks like they're just in case there's some kind of Zealot push here. But he's going to be easily defending anything that happens. So we'll see if he gets a third, or actually he's getting a layer right now. He's getting a layer. Possibly going to be getting his Baneling, you know, a good Baneling speed with that centrifugal hook. And then go in there and do some damage. Meanwhile, it looks like Protoss actually moving out with 4 sentries. Actually, or, yeah, Zealots. 7 Zealots, actually. I thought he would have had some cybernetics technology with that. You know, these Banelings should actually just go in there and bust all this up. You know, those Zealots are not the fastest unit in the world. Let's see how fast Banelings are. Banelings are actually faster than Zealots. I do want to point that out. They have 0.25 faster movement speed, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually a lot when it comes to movement speed. So, these Banelings should actually just chase after these Zealots and pick them off like that. So, now it looks like Shokan trying to do what they can with that. I don't know if Buttery saw this play coming, but you know, it's going to be able to clean that up pretty easily there. So, yeah, all those Zealots being cleaned up, and now there's even 1 Baneling surviving. So, ButteryLlama going for that Destructible Rock, going to be taking his 3rd in just a moment. Now I'm really curious as to know, like, why. I mean, I guess maybe he's seen this play before. It seems kind of abnormal, though, to me anyway, to get a whole bunch of Zealots and attack like that. You know, of course, there is, like, you know, you can. I mean, it's not that I haven't seen Zealots like that after a Forge Expand. That just seemed like the timing of it didn't seem right, and him having all those Banelings at that time just seemed really random. But he cleaned it up nicely, so. Either way, he's getting a Spire. He's going to be just fine against anything else after that. Because that Spire's going to be able to scout around, kill off a whole bunch of things. And, well, since Protoss is going for those Void Rays, which is pretty standard after an expansion, you know, these Void Rays are going to be cleaned up once those mutas are out. And that's why I'm really curious about this, because that Zealot attack seems so late that now that the Void Rays are out, it's like, okay, the Void Rays are out, don't have any backup. Zerg could really just pressure in there with a whole bunch of roaches and kill them off. You know, so it seems really extremely unsafe. Because, you know, he has 4 sentries here. If he had a ton of roaches, which is, you know, usually around now is when you have a bunch of roaches to bust this, you know, you just don't have enough to do anything about it. So, I'm really just curious as to how he's able to do that. But again, you know, Zerg players don't really do a lot of aggressive plays over here in America, so and that could be the reasoning. Either way, he has a couple of Void Rays out, just roaming around, picking off things. Hatchery looks like it is going to be going down, and well, he even has some good creep spread going on. That Spore moving across the field here, and Void Ray number 2 getting a couple kills, but you know, I believe those are actually Zerglings. Not going to be able to do too much with that now that the Spores are up, the Queens are out, and the Mutas are on the way. So Zerg is going to be sitting pretty good off that. Let's see, it is 62 drones to 61 probes, so both players actually pretty darn even right now. And ButteryLlama trying to do as much damage as possible to. Actually, wow, how did he pick that off? He picked off a Forge right there. With the, you know, I believe he probably morphed some Banelings with these dudes over here, and well. Or maybe, oh, okay, no, never mind, I take that back. Shokan probably took it out. Alright, I thought I missed something, but it was really just him taking out a gateway. Or the Forge, I should say, actually. But yeah, now he's moving out with those Void Rays, and this actually looks pretty strong. Let's see how many gateways he has. He has a whole lot of gateways. Yeah, that's actually quite a few gateways. 7 gateways off 1 base, plus the Stargate, so I mean, that is a lot of units. And now that cannon's going down, the Zerglings are in the base, killing off that Zealots, and I don't think Shokan has a lot of to defend this. He has a couple cannons going up in the main. Meanwhile, he does have his main force coming in here. to the Zerg natural, and Banner's busting it up, killing up a lot of Stalkers, but there are a lot of Stalkers and Sentries left with those Void Rays, and I don't know, there are a lot of Queens here, but there's even more Void Rays, and Void Rays look like they're going to be picking off a couple of things. But the Queens actually gaining some good defense here. The drone's coming off, do as much damage as possible, and now the Sentries, or the Stalkers actually being cleaned up as well, so the Void Rays being cleaned up by the Queens, and Zerg's going for the Stalkers here. Now Protoss definitely could have run away a little bit sooner, definitely could have saved some units, that definitely could have gone a lot better. But yeah, now there's probably going to be some mutas running around doing as much damage as possible, and well, Protoss is not going to be in a good situation right now. ButteryLlama actually sitting on a lot of cash, despite being higher in food, so I mean he's sitting pretty good right now. That's what I'm saying. We'll see if he takes a fourth right now. This would be a good opportunity to take a fourth. Maybe even take a fifth with that kind of money, and then just get up a whole bunch of units and do a whole bunch of damage, you know? So we'll see if he's going to be cranking out some more units. Production looks like more Zerglings, some upgrades, and a hatchery, so he's getting up a hatchery somewhere. It looks like a macro hatch in the natural here, and, well, we'll see what he decides to make with that. You know, he's getting some more, he's getting the centrifugal hooks for the banelings, getting up his flyer attack, so probably some more mutas and banelings and Zerglings. So quite the nice mixture there. You know, a lot of players say, this is not a good mixture, but it really depends on what Protoss is doing. It depends on how you handle your units. And, well, to be honest, mutas can do a lot of damage, despite being up against Blink Stalkers, for example. So now these, Shokan trying to do what he can, but as you can see, ButteryLlama just has too many units out. And now he's taking a fourth as well, so I mean, now that he has a whole bunch of units to defend any kind of attack, it's really not much Shokan can do, and now the mutas are actually doing some damage in the main to those probes as well. The two cannons that were up there were taken out, and now these few units remaining, if they don't run away, they're going to be picked off by those Stalkers. Let's see if they run away, taking some heavy damage there. And, well, there's still an attack in the front here, so I mean, I'm sure ButteryLlama just a little bit busy. And now the Zealots cleaned up. Zerglings with the +2 attack are pretty darn dangerous. Well, you even got a Phoenix out to take out that last muta trying to flock away. And let's see, what does Shokan have? He really doesn't have much at all. He doesn't really have any units at all, actually. Just trying to get up a Dark Shrine, trying to do a last resort. Oh, I'm going to maybe win with this. Maybe I can get back in the game with the Dark Shrine. But he really just has nothing to defend with. Trying to just keep up the pressure. And ButteryLlama thinking, okay, he's probably got a bunch of units back there now. But to be honest, he has nothing. He really doesn't have much at all. So the Dark Shrine's going to be finishing up here. Well, actually, it takes a long time to build. Zergling's coming in here, streaming in there, doing a little bit of damage to those Stalkers and to those Zealots, but ButteryLlama doesnn't have a lot. Let's see if he adds on some more dudes. Looks like just a couple of extra Zerglings. It looks like his what are they called? The spawn larva. He's not spewing a lot of larva. I wish he would spew a little bit more. He even has a couple of mutas out here. I wonder what he's actually doing right now. Well, now he's cranking out some more overlords. Alright, well, whatever. And now there's Zerglings still running around. Zealots with the +2 attack, +1 armor. And, well, Shokan, he's just in such a bad position here. I don't think he's going to be winning this game right now. But, well, we'll see if he's able to produce a good enough defense against these Zerglings, and then get up. If he gets up a third, I guess, he could possibly get back in the game. ButteryLlama just plays horribly. But yeah, I really don't think that's going to be the case. He has a fourth up. He has plenty of drones. He's way ahead on the worker count, and I mean, he's sitting on a lot of money too. So I mean, I really don't think he's going to be losing the game right now. ButteryLlama just taking his time at winning, which is fine. A lot of players are like, oh, I definitely won the game, so I should just close it out. So I don't, so I can just take the win and be happy about it. But no, ButteryLlama's smarter than that. He'd rather guarantee his win. That's what you want to be doing. When you're a good player, that's what you do. You guarantee you win. You don't just run in there and try to kill him. Just guarantee it. And people look at this like, oh, this is a guaranteed win already. But the truth is, just make sure you don't make any mistakes from here on out. If Shokan had a big army, and he doesn't, but ButteryLlama doesn't know that. So I mean, ButteryLlama could definitely just run in there and just lose everything, and you don't want to be that unsafe. Let's see, did Dark Templar actually be able to do anything? No, because there's spores everywhere, and I'm sure there's Overseers as well. Yep. So that Dark Templar did nothing. Now he's making Archons. Archons are pretty good with Zealots. But you gotta be really careful, because, well, if he just switches the roaches, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Personally, I don't like this kind of mix as Protoss, you know, Zealots and Archons. They're really good against Zerglings and Mutas. Not very good against Roaches. Like huge amounts of Roaches and Infestors. You just gotta be really careful with how you do it against Zerg. Now against Terran, you know, that's a different story. You could just do some good force fields with some sentries, and then those Archon Zealot mixtures are gonna be really potent. You can be able to do a lot of pushing with that. And yeah, all these Banelings. Banelings are not really good against Archons, but at the same time they're just awesome against Zealots. And yeah, they do explode on Archons, so yeah, Archons don't take damage from them. The reason, of course, why they're not so good against Archons, the Archons are just too big. If you have a big clump of Archons, Banelings are not going to be able to bust that up. But Shokan finally leaves, not giving a GG. But yeah, it happens. So, whatever. Anyways, this has been a cast from Magic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And so I am signing off. Tune in next time.